Knocking on Heaven's Door. Now there's so many different versions of Knocking on Heaven's Door by different bands that I thought this would make a really good beginner learning starter song. It's got the basic chords, your G's and D's and A minors. It's got a nice variation of rhythm patterns that I'm going to walk you through, as well as picking patterns. So step one, please make sure you have a copy of the PDF. And the first thing I'm going to do is walk you through the chords, which I'm now going to focus on my fretting hand. We're starting off with the chord G. On the diagram, it has the finger 1 on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, always counting from the bottom. Middle finger number 2 goes straight to the top, 3rd fret, and the ring finger number 3 goes straight to the bottom, also the 3rd fret. Your G should sound like this. For some that playing a bit longer, they might prefer to play their G with their ring and their pinky finger, so this is also acceptable. Not too worried about that. Okay, next up we're looking at the D chord, also very popular. Finger 1 goes to the 3rd string from the bottom, 2nd fret, middle finger number 2 goes right to the bottom in the 2nd fret, ring finger number 3 goes to fret 3, string 2, and very important, we only play 4 strings. Those 4. Next up, A minor, finger 1 goes into the 2nd string 1st fret, middle finger goes to the 2nd fret 4th string from the bottom, ring finger underneath that. Here's your A minor, and you strum from the 5th string down. Later you go back to the G and D again, and then you end off with a C chord. C is going to look like this, with finger 1 on the 2nd string. Actually the same starting place as the A minor, same with the middle finger, but the 3rd finger, which was here for the A minor, is now on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So your C should look something like this, and again only 5 strings are played. Now we're going to walk away slowly but surely through the rhythm pattern. We're going to start with some basic sort of rhythm, some and then as we progress, we'll eventually get through things like this. But let's get onto the strumming hand now. As I mentioned earlier, you need the PDF, so if you don't have a copy of it yet, just please feel free to WhatsApp me, or you can inbox me on my channel. Happy to send it to you for free. We need it for the reference so you can get used to seeing everything I'm referring to. So rhythm number 1 is going to start with a down strum on the first beat. Playing a G chord at the top. You can hear the G chord. Just a quick recap. G looks like this. Remember that. And then you're strumming down on the first beat. On the +2, which is actually and 2, nothing happens. You just let the note ring. And then on the and after the 2, 2 and 3. You go up on the and after the 2, or the and before the 3, and down on the 3 itself. One more time. And 3, and then at the end on the count of 4, downwards again. Now very important, if there is an arrow under the numbers like the 1 or the 2 or the 3 or the 4, it's always a down strum if the arrow is present under a number. If the arrow is present under the and, it's always an up strum. So we're sort of programming your hand into down, up sort of momentum. So here's rhythm pattern number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Got that? Try it with me. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and. And let's try it twice in a row now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm hoping you'll notice that my hand didn't stop moving. That's part of the key. So don't do that, because then your hand gets very jerky, gets very sort of mechanical. It loses the natural feel for the rhythm. Now next step, we're going to put the chords together with the strumming pattern. You can see both strumming and picking hands now. I'm playing the G. Remember I said I like using the ring and 4th. You may just use the ring finger as well for G. So you've got options over there. I don't really mind which one you go for. Okay, so we're going to sit now. Strum all 6 strings, and it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. After that, you immediately change to D, 1 and 2 and 3 and then you go to A minor, and you'll notice at the top of the page under the title of the song, you'll see it says there in the chord sequence G, D, A minor, A minor. The double A minor means you play it twice, so A minor should be like this. So if you've been playing for a little bit, you might be able to keep up. You should be able to keep up. If you're new, you know what to practice. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play the whole way through. 1 G, 1 D, 2 A minors. Then I'm going to go back to G, back to D, and then 2 C's to finish off with. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... that is rhythm pattern number 1. Now, just a little useful tip. If you feel that the playing is still a little bit fast for you for the changes, the YouTube channel does offer a speed control. If you look under your settings, you should be able to slow the video down if it helps a bit. Okay, rhythm number 2. Rhythm number 2, also a very popular rhythm. We're looking at the more commonly used rhythms, obviously. This one's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So slow motion, it's down. And then under the count of 2 and it goes down up, because remember, up strums on ands, down strums on numbers. And then we finish off with a quick and 4 at the end as well. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you'll see my hand does a bit of a sort of a swing over here to help me keep the movement. So it's going to be one more time. 1 and 2, sorry, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, here we go. We're going to go through the same sequence with this rhythm pattern. Are we ready? 2 and 3 and 4 and... And what's also cool about Knocking on Heaven's Door, other than the basic chords that are used here quite a bit, is that this is the only sequence for the entire song. So your chorus, your lead solos, your verses, your intros all go G, D, A minor, G, D, C, C. So it makes it a really cool first song to get going. Now next up, rhythm number 3. You'll see it's got a B, B there. The B stands for bass note, and you'll see on the PDF it's the highlighted, it's the darker dot on each chord diagram. So for the G, you'll see the 6th string is highlighted. So on the count of 1 and 2, you strike that string. So if you were to play rhythm number 3 now for G, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on your 3rd and 4th and, you strum all 6, but for the 1 and 2, just the bass note. If you strike 2 strings by accident, also sounds cool, but try for 1. It's good for accuracy. It's nice to focus your picking hand a bit more accurate. Okay, for the D, we now have to play from the 4th string. You can see I'm striking the 4th string there. And then for the A minor, the 5th string. And of course, A minor must go through twice. Now, as I mentioned earlier as well, so many variations of the song, there's no wrong way to play it. I think one of Dylan's very first releases when he did it, and a completely different rhythm pattern to the reggae version he did on one of his live albums. So have fun with the song, make it yours. Here we go. Rhythm number 3, the entire way through. 2 and 3 and 4 and... And there you have it. Now you can get fancy as well, like you can do bass note and then a second bass note. So you can do this. For the D, maybe go for the 4th and the 3rd. For the A minor, 5th and 4th. So be creative for the song. If you do something that's wrong, and I'm using wrong in inverted commas, but it sounds good, do it again. If your ear says it's good, it is good. Okay, the last rhythm's got a bit of a tap to it. Now this might be quite nice if you're not using a pick. If you are using a pick, you can just use the back of your hand to tap it like that. And all I'm doing is I'm tapping down really hard so that the strings are hitting onto the fretboard, and that gives me the little red T under the 2nd beat for rhythm number 4. 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm going to put that inside there. If you use fingers, no pick now. then I like using my thumb. So if I'm using fingers, thumb started. If I want to do pick, I use the palm. Whatever feels comfortable, that's cool. Same chord sequence, rhythm number 4 should sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now you could also, if you want to, put a tap under the 4 as well, and you get this. So again, variations, no wrong way to play this. So these 4 rhythms, and yes there are obviously more, but these 4 will be a really good place to start to help you getting with your rhythms inside there. Now to finish off, you can get fancy like this. And I'm going to zoom in on my picking aid to show you more or less what I'm doing. This will be more for the intermediate players and just some ideas for those that want to get into sort of picking. There's no wrong picking pattern again, because like I said, the song's been covered too many times. What I'm doing is I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now I can change that as long as I've got the beat, then I'm cool. I can go... I can do that. I can do a strum with a pick. Also works quite nicely. Or go pick and strum. So you can sit and play around with the pattern. So I don't want to give you a fixed pattern as such. There will be other videos where I'm going to focus on picking styles like House of the Rising Sun, Wonderful Tonight, and some other cool songs. And the Forbidden Song, Stairway to Heaven, will be there. Okay, but for this one to be a play around a bit, try and get the rhythm going. And just, it's actually difficult trying to intentionally not be creative or intentionally not trying to do variations in it right now. But that rhythm will work quite nice. And at speed you go. And so on and so on and so on. So there's no wrong way for the picking pattern. So the primary objective of you here with this song was to get you your strumming exercises and to teach you the basic chords, which we've done. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to drop me a WhatsApp. I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, have an awesome week and take care.